what's up guys, Mark from Wandering Souls. Welcome back to my channel. It's that time. Yes, it's that time. It's time for the Q&A video. You asked me some questions in the 1000 subscribers contest. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you all so much for your effort. I really appreciate it. I got like 35 questions, so let's see how far I will go. I will probably split this up in two parts, being this video might be doing 18 questions and the other one 17 or something like that. Otherwise the video will be fucking huge, and it also depends how much I ramble in my stories here to answer your questions, but we'll see where it all goes. Yeah, it's really fun to read those questions and think up the answers for that, thinking all the anecdotes and things I want to say about it. And of course I pulled out some stuff from my collection as well to show and answer those questions. So you will see some music coming passing by as well. We'll see how it goes, guys. Again, thank you very much for your questions. Like I said, I'm gonna split those in this Q&A into videos. So I do now one and maybe next week or something doing the other one, something like that. First up, cup of coffee, of course. Drinking from a mug from my girlfriend. This is from a musical called On Your Feet about Gloria Estefan. Yes, something completely different for metalheads, but yeah, it's a mug here, right? I have to drink something from something, so I don't mind. I've seen this musical as well, actually. It was quite enjoyable, but yeah, Gloria Estefan is not really my wheelhouse. So yeah, my girlfriend and I went there once, and she saw it a couple of times with some girlfriends. But sometimes you have to do stuff and enjoy each other as company, and sometimes you do see something if you go do something that you not really into, but having fun because you are with the person that you like. And this guy, my girlfriend, I love her to death. Yeah, you know, you have to do something to keep each other entertained and you know, have a fun time. Anyways, I've visited a lot of musicals with her. Not a lot, everything, but the one I really enjoyed the most was We Will Rock You, because that was because of the music of Queen. I love Queen. Anyways, enough rambling about that. We are stretching the video unnecessarily. In the background you're listening to Ancient Rites, great black metal band from Belgium. If you don't know this yet, go check it out. Fantastic band. This is their second album, Blasphemy Eternal, on Mascot Records. And this is the first press of that as well. So let's get to the questions. I have them all written down here. The 35 of them. Like I said, I gotta just answer the first 18 questions. If you're not in this video, guys, your questions or whatever, of course you are in the other video. That's how it works. These are all questions from the video. Some questions, most of the time, questions from the video makers. I had some questions from non-video makers as well, but that will be in the other video as well. Anyways, Q&A. First up, Aquatic Records with Captain Ron Haggerty. A dude that has been on VC for a long time, also on multiple names for his channel. I think Aquatic Records with Captain Ron is his latest name for the channel, but yeah, he changed sometimes that up. Anyway, she asked one question: what was the first album you bought with your own money? I don't really recall my really first album. That was not a metal album. It was something different, but first metal album I could remember, that could be this one. Self-Titled by Iron Maiden or No Prayer for the Dying were the first two metal albums I bought. I can remember. That was in early 90s. Non-metal album I can't really recall. Must be some compilation, some dance music or something. I don't know. It was a period that was both in metal and into dance music, and until 93, 94 something, I dropped the dance music. I was more interested in the metal music. So you had some stuff from that, but you know, I all got rid of it, that kind of stuff, because I didn't listen to it anymore. Not that I hate it, but you know, I grew up with rock and metal, listening to it with the room of my brother and sister. You know, they spun a lot of things like Van Halen, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, you know, that kind of stuff. So I was more into that from early age, and dance was just thing that came next to it. But yeah, I lost interest in that. But the first metal albums were the Iron Maiden ones, and right after that I think Seventh Son and the Number of the Beast, and yeah, the rest is history. I bought a lot of stuff. I grew more and more into metal. Next up, Rachel's Ghost, a newer subscriber to my channel, but I really love her channel. I love her live streams and stuff like that, talking about different kind of music, also sometimes rock and metal, but he's definitely more on the rock side than the metal side. But she has some Iron Maiden and things like that. But yeah. Anyways, a fantastic channel. Thank you for subscribing, Rachel, and thank you for your effort and entering the competition. I really appreciate it. You also brought me some new subscribers as well, thanks to your video. So thank you a lot for that as well. Anyways, she asked actually 2 questions, but if I look at right, there are 4 in 2 questions. But you know, I'm not that picky. You know, I could really 4 questions. No, I don't. I am not like that. You know, I said I maximum of 3, but you know, it's only one who just surpassed this one somehow, if you look at specifically. But anyways, have you ever read the Tintin books? Well, I'm familiar with Tintin. I actually had 4 of those hardcover books in the past. I don't really collect books anymore, so I got rid of it. But in the Netherlands we have Tintin, only it's called Kuifje. So that's the Dutch translation, Kuifje. But I read that stuff. I really enjoyed reading that. Like I said, I had it. But yeah, I'm not. There was some day that I had to choose, you know, and music was my bigger passion. So I got rid of comics and some books and stuff like that. The collection was too big to keep both. But I like Kuifje or Tintin, how you want to call it. Have you ever read Asterix? Yeah, that's another kind of comic that I read. Of course, Asterix, Obelix, Idifix. There were some others as well in that book. I really like those comics, and I had a couple of them, not all of them, but yeah, I really enjoyed reading that kind of stuff. Do I like sports? Of course I like sports. If you watch some of my hobby videos and stuff like that, you know that I'm really a big Formula 1 fan. I like to watch that kind of stuff, but I also like to watch soccer, NBA, ice hockey I really like. Yeah, and I also like to watch the Olympic Games and stuff like that, you know. And sometimes I also watch speed skating, you know, on the ice with. I really like that. That's a big sport in the Netherlands as well. Yeah, I really like that. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff I like to watch. Do you like comic books? Yes, I like comic books. I had a lot of books. There were also a lot of comics, things like Spider-Man and things like that, you know, the Fantastic Four, X-Men, you know, that stuff I would like to read, but also like reading things like really van der Steen comics, Skim Wiske, and Rode Ridder, and things like there's not really van der Steen, but Frigir and Storm. I really liked reading those. But in the Marvel things and like that, I really like to read that. But like I said, I don't collect that anymore. Yeah, it is what it is. But thank you for your questions, Rachel. I really appreciate it. Yeah, really great. Go check out the channel as well, next to Captain Ron's one, sorry. Hope you guys can hear me, that the music is not too loud. Maybe I should turn it down a bit. Like that. Hopefully this is a bit better. Yeah, I have no idea, but we'll see. Next up, Proghead Edward. He asked me a couple of questions as well. Do I like prog music? And then next, except apart from the big names, you know, like Yes and Genesis and stuff like that, of course I like prog music. I have even a really nice CD collection and some prog records. Of course I have the big names, also things like Rush and stuff like that, but I like also some small names, like things like Guild Machine or Pendragon, although this a bit bigger name though, but things like that. But also saw some bands live that I don't own material from. A Dutch band called Marathon, which is a fantastic band. I don't know if you are familiar with that band, but check it out. Things like Magma, like Gentle Giant. I know. Yeah, I like a lot of stuff. Sky. Yeah, what's other things? Camel is probably a bigger name as well, so I don't know if I should mention that. Yeah, it's kind of hard, you know. The small names are harder to collect, but if I come across a prog band that I really like, I will listen to it and pick it up if I like it. You know, I want to support every kind of music that I like. That's how it works, you know. And I also kind of disappointed I never picked up that Marathon material, but yeah, I don't know if they're still active or even though, but I seen them live in a support act for Saga. Yeah, great stuff. Anyways, he showed also some really interesting bands as well, Edward, for that question. I never heard of, so yeah, I might think I go check those bands out as well. I still haven't got around to it, but yeah, we'll see. What's the next question? Have you ever been recommended a metal album which I think is not metal? Yeah, that happens sometimes in the past, especially when I was younger and was more exploring metal when I was a teenager. Always had that fun classmates or school, yeah, people I go to school with back then. Oh, you're into metal, and then do you like this band? I thought, what the fuck? Sometimes I didn't know it and check it and I think that's not metal. That's probably rock or something. And yeah, and people always come up with the same names as well. If they discover you are into metal, yeah, that's not their fault, you know. It's just a lack of knowledge into metal, let's put it that way. And it's okay, each to its own, you know. If you don't like metal, I can understand you don't explore it further. I always say, you have to hear stuff to know for sure if you don't like it, you know. There's always music that could surprise you and think, hey, I didn't really notice that it actually sounds pretty good, and you explore some more music stuff, and that also happens to me, you know. I'm not only into metal, metal is just my main thing, but I listen to a lot of stuff. Like I said, I listen to dance music. I like electronic music, industrial things, and you know, I all grew into that during the years. But yeah, I don't really recall a case from a recent recommendation as metal, so I didn't really quote that. I just, you know, most people I hang around with in concerts or daily life know what I listen to, so yeah, they don't really ask questions, or it are people that are into metal and just me a new band. So yeah, that is metal. So I don't really recall a recent case, but yeah, it is like I said, what it is. Next question: do I like DC or Marvel movies? Of course, I like Marvel and DC movies. I like the things like Thor, Spider-Man, of course, X-Men. What movies did I watch more? Wolverine, I think. There were a few others, but you know, that kind of movies I watched. Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, to me, is that a moving equivalent for the comic books, and I already read comic books in the past, so for me it's not. So I really like to watch those kind of movies. I don't have a big collection from that because I don't collect movies as well. I have a small collection, but I'm not really buying movies. Most of the time I stream movies, so yeah, so I can't show you really big stack of Marvel or anything. If you wanted to see that, I don't know. But thank you, Edward, for your questions. I really enjoy it. Yeah, good questions. Next up, this is music. Kim from Denmark, fantastic channel. Go check him out as well. He's doing at the moment really great. His channel is growing, and it's really deserved. So hope to see you have reach 500 soon. If you already are there, that's how it depends when how it goes on the channel and when the video is up. Anyways, he has 3 questions as well. What's your take on elitism and gatekeeping in fan communities like metal or vinyl? I understand that there are some boundaries, you know, but for me for me, I don't really like it. You know, it puts everything in a certain, and you have to do like that. You know, it's kind of spoiling the joy of collecting and enjoying music in general. Don't have to be specific for metal. I also see it happen in other communities. It kind of for me, if I were new to that in vinyl collecting or metal collecting, or you know, it kind of would spoil the moment for me to collect further. It also depends on how people bring it. You know, is it advice that's something different than you should do that? You know, it's a kind of difference. If newbies, let's call them newbies, I don't want to actually call that like that, but you know what I mean. Ask advice and you give someone, you know, she better do this, or for as a record player, or how to keep your good records in a great condition and stuff like that. You know, if someone asks advice and you say, hey, it's better for your records if you do this, then that's something different. You know, it's just another way of educating people who are new into that stuff. But if I see sometimes videos and there are some young girls or guys are just into collecting records, so they have a new turntable or Crossley, for example, you know, that the suitcase record players, and I always got criticism, blah blah blah, this is short records, blah 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 blah, you know. I understand you mean it the right way, the good way, but sometimes it gets too how do you say that, too preachy, or what you should do and what you should not do. I think it's each to his own. If you are new to certain stuff, you don't know everything, that's true, but you don't need to bitch about that, you know. And to me, all better to me, that is elitism. And yeah, somehow to me it would spoil the moments, and also I'm just something say me to do, I gonna do the opposite. If I get someone get preachy to me like that, I'm really stubborn like that, I just go do the opposite, and or stop, you know. Yeah, I'm a really weird person in general if it comes to that, you know. But I think, Kim, you know what I mean, and how I yeah, experienced that. You know, I want to educate new people as well. I have made a video in record sleeves in the past. I don't know if it feels like preachy, but I didn't really meant it like that, you know. I just want to give advice to new collectors, you know, watch out with those record sleeves, for example. But I don't go to their videos and say, ah, you should do that. No, I'm not like that. And it also counts for new people in metal, you know. I'm just like, hey, you might like that band, or if you like this, you just explore, you know. That's something different than you should listen to that, that's crap, or you know what I mean. Everyone starts somewhere, and to go out more experienced in their journey for metal or record collecting. So yeah, that's kind of my take. I look at that, Kim. But yeah, that's my answer to your question. I hope you enjoy my question. Next question: what are your 5 favorite albums from the early 90s, like 1990, 1995? There were so many great records and albums in the 90s, especially in the early 90s. But just I picked a couple of that I really liked. Of course, there are way more that. And this is not in a one particular order or anything. I don't want to call it a top 5. I just picked 5 albums that I really liked. So let's go here. First one, Machine Head, Davidian, fantastic album. 1994 release, first album from this band. Yeah, that introduced them to the scene, and they yeah, came in with a bang. This is a fantastic album, great tracks on this, Davidian, All the Thousand Lies, Nation of Fire, Block, you know, fantastic album. Go check it out if you're not familiar with it, but I highly doubt that Kim is not familiar with it, because it's such a classic, you know. Great groovy, trashy metal album. Great band from the USA. Second one, My Dying Bride, Angel in the Dark River. Fantastic doom metal album, Death Doom. Great tunes on this. Favorite track of this, definitely The Cry of Mankind, which is the opening track. Really love that track. It's like 12 minutes of fantastic morning doom metal. But also includes From Darkest Skies, You See to Suffering, Your Shameful Heaven, fantastic tracks, you know. Great album. This album was released in '95, I think. Fantastic album. Go check it out. If you are not familiar with this, it's really classic stuff. Another classic, Sepultura, Arise. One of my favorite thrash albums. Fantastic album. Arise, Dead and Beyond Excels, Desperate Cry, Altered State, Infected Voice. Fantastic tracks, you know. It's all tracks on this album are phenomenal. Great recording. Great thrash from Brazil, and definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Sepultura album. Great stuff. First Slayer album I bought, and also one of my favorites from the '90s, Divine Intervention. Fantastic album that is overlooked a lot, and shit, you know, people always call the '80s albums, you know, Rain and Blood and stuff like that. But I really enjoy this album as well. It's a great comeback. Paul Bostaph on drums instead of Dave Lombardo. Great replacement. He does really well on this album. Yeah, fantastic tunes on this one. Killing Fields, Sex Murder Art, Ditto Head, Divine Intervention, 213, Serenity Murder. You know, fantastic tracks. Definitely worth looking into if you want to hear some '90s Slayer. This is definitely one of the better ones from the '90s. In my opinion. And the last one is a band also dear to me, and I picked up the wrong album, I see. Let's see if I find the right one. It's this album. This is Napalm Death, Harmony, Corruption. 1990 album. Just into the '90s. This is the band's third album. This is the band, you know, grindcore band from the UK, and this album is definitely more a death metal album for this band. Definitely has a more Floridian sound, let's put it that way. It was also recorded at the Mortal Sound Studios with Scott Burns, so that explains a lot, of course. There were a lot of death metal bands recording there back in the day, and they found the production really good, so they recorded there as well. And definitely can hear this on this album. Definitely has a Florida sound on it, but it's a fantastic album though, even though it's more death metal than grindcore. All songs were a bit longer and more death metal orientated. Vision's Contrast, If the Truth Be Known, Malicious Intent, Unfit Earth is fantastic, Mind Snare, of course Suffering the Children, which is the big track on this album. This is song 10 on the album. Yeah, great stuff. If you don't know this album yet, go check it out. If you don't like the grindcore era from Napalm Death, try this one. If you're a death metal lover, maybe you grew into some Napalm Death, or how you doubt that you don't like Napalm Death if you are into death metal, but that's my opinion. So, fantastic album. So, that are my 5 picks from the 90s. Another sip of the coffee. And this appears to be a long video, so I'm really glad that I split it up in 2 videos. Otherwise the video will be really long. We're already at half an hour. So and we are not finished with the questions yet, so there's still more questions here. So yeah, anyways, next question from Kim, and the last one: what is your top 5 favorite bandmate songs? Well, that's really hard. I have of course a couple of that are up there, but I listen to a lot of bandmate lately again. I listened to Domination yesterday in the car when I went to work again, and you know, and I did a reaction video to Daydreaming, a track that really got stuck in my head and kind of got emotional to me. I don't know what it is. It really grew. It was already in my top 10, Daydreaming, but the more I listened to it, the higher it came in the list. So it's on number 5 now. This was like number 8 or 9, something there. So it grew in the list of favorite tracks from this band. Bandmate, if you're not familiar with Bandmate, it's a Japanese rock band that Kim and I really like. All female bands dressed in maid outfits, you know, from that maid cafes in Japan, where the girls are dressed like that as maids and serve you with some food and drinks, have a little chat with you. They are kind of that idea. Miku started this band, his guitar player and vocalist. I got the idea to perform with that kind of outfits, you know, and then perform some rock tunes. And they really grew big at the moment. They really do fantastic. And a steady lineup as well, since 2013, the same lineup. So they already exist in 10 years. Congratulations, girls. Anyways, back to the subject. I'm kind of wandering off, although it's still about Bandmate, but Daydreaming is in number 5 track now, and it grew so much, and yeah, it's so fantastic, semi-ballad. I really enjoy it. Yeah, fantastic tune, great lyric, great catchiness to it, and yeah, I love the vocal lines, the backing vocals as well. The guitar solo is in there, the bass work is great as usual, and the drum work as well. Great band, great song. Next up is number 4 is Play, which is a more progressive, heavy tune from these girls, and that's also really catchy. Still progressive, but still catchy. Girls know how to write a good song. Kanami and writes the structures of most of the songs, with Miku and Saiki delivering lyrics into the songs and stuff like that. And we have Misa, who's laying their additional bass work in there. And her playing, I love her playing. Misa is fantastic. Yeah, she really comes out in Play, and there are some more songs that are, you know, great bass heavy. Fantastic tune, Play, catchy. Like I said, it's more, you know, more adventurous. Manners is number 3. Like that track since I first heard it, and still is in that top 5 list. Another great one is No God. I really like that one as well. Again, great tune. My favorite track, the number 1, is the title track for their album Domination. Great tune, really catchy, great sing-along tune, but it's still, you know, kind of punchy. Great tune, Domination. Definitely go check out that track if you're not familiar with Bandmate yet. It's definitely a track I would recommend to check out. So that's my top 5. So 5 Daydreaming, 4 Play, 3 Manners, 2 No God, and 1 is Domination. What, no instrumentals on there? Yes, I like those instrumentals. There are 2 in the top 15, and I think I have 3 instrumentals, if I'm correct. So yeah. Anyways, that's for Kim's questions. Thank you very much, Kim, for your questions. I really like it. Great questions. Next up, Fresh or Be Trashed. Sorry, Frederick Sunko from Australia, I think. Fantastic channel as well. Shows great thrash, black and thrash, heavy metal, things like that. If you like that kind of stuff, go check out. Yeah, definitely good music there. So he asked me 3 questions as well. First one, what genre of music should be banned from music? I'm not really a person that expels kind of genres. I've always think you don't like it now, but what about 10 or 15 years? You never know, guys. You know, your music taste expands when you grow older and you go listen to music that's brings you to a specific mood, or you're in a specific mood and you want to listen to a certain thing. Metal can bring you a lot of those moods, that's correct. But sometimes you discover something that is not metal and you really like, you know. It's just and music in general, music should be banned. I don't know. I am a person that if I don't like that kind of music, I don't listen to it. It shouldn't be banned. There are fans that really like their stuff, but I think everyone has the right to their own opinion. Of course, you may think, for me, you know, I don't like that genre, so I ban it. You know, it's your choice, but I don't ban any genre. I just don't listen to it. That's my thoughts. How many CDs and records do I have in my collection? Well, I have had a look on Discogs for that. I have to say, not everything is listed on Discogs. There are a few things that are not on Discogs, and so I can't add them to my Discogs collection. There's still things that I need to add myself, I think, to get the exact numbers. Sometimes that happens, you know. The tunes are over. Let's put it on again. You know, anyways, so that means I'm rambling too much. I'm 35 minutes. Anyways, CDs, yeah, it might change during, after this recording, you know. I always find new music. Let's put that way. CDs 2501. That's my amount of CDs. Records 958 so far, and tapes, also included tapes here, 364. And then of course I have some things that are not on Discogs, and box sets and things like that. I didn't really put that in there. That box sets are a separate folder in my Discogs list, so that's why I don't. And that could be CDs, tapes, or vinyl. So box sets, just multiple formats of multiple things in one box. So yeah, but that's kind of the amount I go out from. Of course, it's not the exact amount, but you know what I mean. Second question, how many I already had that, sorry. Last question, if I can't find an album I want in my collection, how would I go out and find it to own it? Well, I just do what I always do. I just keep an eye on Discogs, Amazon, or whatever, or eBay, or other second-hand things online. And of course I go to stores, you know, physical record stores. I'm just going to record fairs. Yeah, just browse on the band's web pages, web stores, and Bandcamp and things like that. I just keep an eye on things, and there is a certain will be some time that some things I will find original press, or that it gets reissued if I want a specific thing that is on YouTube money, don't want to pay for it. Definitely wait for a reissue. It sometimes happens. I'm still waiting on the reissue of the Storm of the Lights Bane from Dissection, guys. Come on. Where is it? You always do reissue the Somberlane. Why not the second album? What's up with that? Anyways, yeah, that's I want to. Yeah, and I mean, of course, the record version. The young CD is obtainable, but I mean the record version. But I don't want to pay €1,000. You know what I mean. Anyways, I just go look out the regular things, and sometimes if you'll find secondhand sellers on Facebook, or you know, on things like Marktplaats, which is a kind of store, eBay site only for Dutch people and Belgian people. Sometimes you find stuff from there as well, but also, you know, secondhand stores. Just browse in different cities and record stores, and sometimes you find things that you are looking for. Yeah, and sometimes for a price you wouldn't expect it even as well. So yeah, that's the answer to my question, Frederick. I hope you like my answers. Thank you very much for your questions. I really appreciate it. That's the part for that. Next questions are from Stormwind79 James from Australia, living in Thailand. Fantastic channel as well, go check it out if you don't know his channel yet. Really nice dude, really likes different kinds of rock and metal, but his main thing is black metal. But he likes some heavy metal, some glam stuff, some other things. Yeah, we have 3 questions as well. What are my top 5 Dutch bands? Like I said, I am not going every time doing a top 5, or this is just name a few that I really like, or have a certain connection with. Yeah, that doesn't mean they have to be on number 1. It's just, or number 2 or number 3. There's just no particular order. But I just name 5 bands that I like, and that could be a lot of genres. Like I said, I'm not specific to. I need to, you know. So first one I named is After Forever. It was a Dutch band, going more into that goth metal things, and this was also the band that got me connected with my girlfriend. So we visited concerts together with that, and our relationship grew from that. So this is definitely the band that got us connected. The second one, of course, is Nightwish. Yeah, just fantastic bands. Just showing an album from that band. There's this band, After Forever. This is the second album, Decipher, from 2001. Fantastic band. This was the band Floor Jansen was in before she went to Nightwish. Fantastic band. Multiple members are doing now different things. I think Bas Maas was not really into this lineup yet. I think no, Bas Maas came on after this. See if I have a lineup here. This is the band, by the way. You guys can see Floors in the middle in the red, and this side, the first person here is Mark Jansen, who is now in Epica. André Borgman, and which is the drummer, is the person next to it, and this one on Luc van Gerven are in cover bands. Sander Gommans is doing things with his wife Amanda Somerville, musically, me of course. And Lando van Gils is the only person that doesn't pop up anywhere. He's the keyboard player. Anyways, yeah, fantastic album. Great tunes on this: Monolith of Doubt, My Pledge of Allegiance, Emphasis, Strange is a really good track. Forlorn Hope. Fantastic album. Go check it out if you're not familiar with this one. Nathan Metal Down Under. This is definitely a thing you would like. This is definitely, go check out this album. This is one of my favorite After Forever albums. Second one, this is a band, also this funk. This is Lyre of Golgotha. This is their album Ancient Wars. This is symphonic black metal, has some thrash hints here and there as well. Fantastic album. This is really good stuff. Dutch band. They are from Rotterdam. Great bands. Ghost of the Ancient Siberian Wolf Cult, Night of the Fallen Stars, Remembering the Ancient Wars, In Praise of Cthulhu, Ways of the Wind. There's also Exodus cover on here, Piranha. This is the last track on this album. Again, a Mascot Records release, that's just like the Ancient Rights one. Fantastic album. If you're not familiar with this, James, go check it out. It's definitely one of the better black metal bands in the Netherlands. Were they made like 3 albums or 4? I don't really recall. I think this is the last studio album they did. if I'm correct. Fantastic, go check it out. Ancient Wars by Liar or Golgotha. Just tongue breaker there. Tongue twister, how you call it. Anyways, next Dutch band is Sirif God, which is a fantastic black metal band from the Netherlands. This is the first album, Onwards to the Spectral Defile. This is fantastic stuff, James. You will like this, and especially the first three albums. I think you really like. It definitely has a kind of a Marduk vein. I know you like Marduk a lot, so you will really enjoy this. Later work definitely has more atmospheric touches to it, but the first albums were definitely really bumbling. Great drum, great drummer, great riffing, high streaky vocal, fantastic, really aggressive stuff, and definitely has some detail for atmospheric parts here and there. But check out this stuff. You really enjoy. This was out on Osmos Productions, so it should be obtainable. Osmos really requests a lot, so yeah. Sirif God, go check it out, James. You will like this. Other great band I really like, of course, is Asphyx, and this is their album The Wreck, the debut album. Fantastic record, classic. This is definitely an album you must own if you want to. This is not a first press, but I don't really care. Definitely has a lot of bonus tracks, which are live recordings done in '91. So yeah, that's why I picked it up as well. It's so much bonus material. In total there are 20 tracks. You get a lot of death metal here for your buck. Fantastic album, guys. Go check this album out. Yeah, great album. Asphyx. And the last band that I really enjoy is Pestilence, and this is their second album, Consuming Impulse. Again, Martin van Drunen on vocals, just like Asphyx. Fantastic album. This is from 1989. It's their second album. Great stuff. That's the album that they got them heavier. The first album is more thrashy, more speedy metal. Has aggressiveness to it, the vocals, but this is definitely more death metal. Great tracks on this: Dehydrated, Process of Suffocation, The Trauma, Chronic Infection, Out of the Body. Fantastic album. Definitely must have in your death metal collection if you want to hear Pestilence. So that's my top 5. You know, just a few of my favorite Dutch albums. Next question: am I familiar with the Dutch black metal band Sauron? Of course I am familiar with Sauron. Why shouldn't I? It's definitely a band from the past for me. I heard all albums, but I actually own only one. I should change that, I think. But I own For a Dead Race. Great black metal album. Great, fast, furious black metal. And if you think like Marduk, and you will enjoy this. Great stuff. I've seen them live as well back in the day, and they were fantastic. You know, fantastic band. There was something with the drummer as well. Wasn't he had one hand or something? I don't know what it was, but although he had one hand, he was a fantastic drummer. I think it was the case. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that he only had one hand. So it's really kind of weird, but he played very well also live. Great stuff, great black metal. Go check it out. Sauron. Zwaardgevecht has, if you don't know if you're familiar with Zwaardgevecht, James, and don't know if you're really tape collector, but I have a tape box set still available with older albums and extra material and stuff like that. If you're interested to that, go to zwaardgevecht.nl. If you want to have a link, just hit me up. Fantastic stuff. Last question: travel recommendations for the Netherlands if you want to visit the Netherlands. Some of my favorite places. Well, I'm a Dutch guy, so you just ask me. You visited the Netherlands sometimes before. You visit Amsterdam. I think that's still a recommendation. There's so much to explore in Amsterdam. Great city. And you went to Zaanse Schans, I think I had talked about it, and some other things. But other places, you know, visit Utrecht, of course. It's a fantastic city. Great restaurants, great bars, great record stores as well. Nice old feel, just like Amsterdam, with all those canals and yeah, bridges and things like that. Definitely is an older city, and it's a great city. Like I said, I love to go to Utrecht, and definitely great stuff. I would also recommend you Rotterdam, although that's a more modern city. It was bombed in the Second World War, so that's why it's not has a lot of old buildings. But it's modern. It has great venues like the Baruch, fantastic venue. But it also has some great restaurants and some record stores as well. A really nice city to visit to. They also have some breweries, I think, too, which you visit to. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Next city, which is more a student city, but it's a lot of nightlife there. The bars are open like 24 hours a day or something like that. During the day and the night they're still open. Groningen, it's the place, a pretty big city in the north part of the Netherlands. Really nice city. Again, great restaurants, some fantastic record stores. Looks great as a city in a whole. Nice place to visit, to Groningen. Great city. Other city I can recommend is Maastricht, which is way south. It's one of, I think, the farthest away city in the Netherlands. It's just really in the south, almost next to Belgium. The freer land point, like Germany, Belgium, and Netherlands, is close by, Vaals. You know, but yeah, fantastic city, a really old city as well, and definitely for good food, good drinks, and you like old buildings. Maastricht is really recommended as well. Fantastic city. Yeah, they have really good life there, although yeah, a lot of stuff. Other city, which is a kind of combination, The Hague, really has some really interesting sightseeing as well. Great food, really like that city. They don't have city rights really, so why I don't know if I could call it a city, but it's big enough to be a city in the Netherlands. Also, if you are in The Hague, also visit Scheveningen, which is a fantastic beach with a nice boulevard next to it. It's also really enjoyable for a couple of hours, you know, sitting in a restaurant, watching beach and stuff like that. You know, I really recommend it as well to visit Scheveningen, which is a hard word to pronounce, Scheveningen. Yeah, anyways, that's our cities I could recommend. Yeah, I think you also said if you like castles and stuff like that, we have a lot of them as well. I think I have posted to you something on Instagram about that. If you want to know more specific about castles and things like that, let me know, James. Yeah, fantastic. I'll do one question and I quit here with the video because it's almost 1 hour. Like I said, it's good that I have split it in 2 videos, otherwise it will be a 2-hour video. Anyways, last question is from Metal Down Under. Only one question, so it really rounds up the questions here. Great. What band in rock and metal does my girlfriend really enjoys and picks everything up from? Well, it used to be Night After Forever, of course, because that's the way we are connected, but the band is inactive like 2008, so that nothing really happened after that. Flo went to doing solo stuff and then into Nightwish, and all the band members went different ways. But she's also was always big into Nightwish as well since the early 2000s, just like I am. I like Nightwish a lot. When Tarja was still on vocals, I've seen Nightwish live with Tarja on vocals one time in 2004. That was on the Dynamo Festival, and that was a fantastic performance. And I've seen Nightwish at Annette 2 times, and with Floor also a couple of times, I think 3 times or something, 2 or 3. So I've seen Nightwish a couple of times live as well. A fantastic band, but that's the other big band she's into. She's a lot of styles of rock and metal, but also some pop music, some musical things and like that. So also like that kind of stuff, some dance music. But metal, the main thing is Nightwish, and there are a couple of other bands. She's also really into Walk in Darkness at the moment, with Nicoletta Rissolini on vocals, who's also singing in Kalidia, and one other band with 3 vocalists. I can't recall the name of that, but so interesting. But it's more kind of a Domier sound, and she likes things like The Gathering, the old material with Anneke Giesberg on vocals. And there are more bands, Epica of course, and you know, bands like that. She likes that a lot, but the main thing is probably definitely still Nightwish. Yeah, that's the answer to your question, Nathan. Thank you very much. If you are not familiar with Nathan's channel, go check him out. Great dude, has a great taste in music as well, rock and metal. He's definitely heavy into female fronted metal. If you like that, go check it out. So that's were my questions for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. I will end the video here, otherwise yeah, it is already almost 57 minutes, and it's long enough for a video. So thank you all for your questions. I like it a lot. See you with the next Q&A, which will be probably next week or something, and definitely will be another long video. Thank you all for watching, for your questions, for your support. I really appreciate it. If you like this, subscribe to my channel as well. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel really out. Of course, I will be back with another video soon. Yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next video. Cheers.